Welcome to Jim Rohn School. I can assure you that it's more than simply conversation. It's preparing your mind for achievement. It's establishing the mood for your whole one day. It will shape your future. Early in the morning, whenever you observe your own thoughts in the first minutes after waking up may dictate the trajectory of the whole day. And if your days are within your control, you may take charge of your life. It's that easy. And yet hey, may I ask you a question? Have you ever seen how certain individuals seem to have everything they need to succeed? They're satisfied and always on the go. I'll share their secret with you. You see, they've perfected the art of self-talk. They are able to inspire the ability to push oneself, how to become their own closest companion and greatest cheerleader. And I want to do it. Educate you today. I'd want to demonstrate saying to yourself 5 short sentences. Your life may change every morning. However, before discussing those 5 sentences, let's discuss the reasons why this is so. As you can see, your mind functions similarly to a garden, and all of your thoughts, all of the words you say to yourself are like you're sowing a seed in that. You may now put flowers in your yard, or you may cultivate ideas and grow weeds of prosperity and optimism, or you may let thoughts of negativity run. The selection is crazy, belonging to you, but here's what garden will continue to develop regardless of your attention or not. So why not make a conscious effort to, why not begin each of the things you're planting? Day by sowing the seeds of prosperity, of encouragement, for optimism. These 5 lines then enter the picture, similar to a daily application of fertilizer for your. Keep in mind that they are the water that supports those positive seeds sprout because of the sun. That makes your potential life. I am aware of what some of you may. I'm not a morning person. I'm thinking, Jim. My own name is so difficult for me to recall when I awaken, let alone 5 lines, and I really understand them. But this is precisely the reason this is so. It's crucial that you see the first few. Shortly after waking up, that's when your thinking is at its most open. At that point, you have the authority to establish the mood for the rest of the day, such as a computer is being programmed by you, and your code is 5 lines long. What are these 5 sentences about success? That's what we're going to discuss. We're going to dissect them one today, by one, and I'll demonstrate how each one may have an effect on your life in a deep manner. But before we go, I would want you to realize that things aren't just words. They're more than simply encouraging words that you unconsciously repeat. No, they are strong assertions that, when absorbed and really held, to be able to change your entire perspective, that success isn't only about who you are, not what you do. Become, and the person you end up becoming is mostly based on your beliefs on yourself, about your talents regarding these 5 lines are intended to have promise. To mold the ideas they're intended to help shape you into the person you must be in order to fulfill your dreams are similar to everyday pet conversation. From the most inspiring mentor you may have yourself. Let's now discuss the first line. The first thing you need to discuss with each morning is this: the day I decide to be positive. Take note of the term choice here. This is important because you realize that optimism isn't something that just occurs to you, is not reliant on your situations. It's a decision, and you must make every single decision. Day you get up and declare, today I decide to believe, that you're creating a dedication to yourself, that you're expressing your thoughts regardless of what occurs today. Whatever obstacles I encounter, I'm going to address things in a constructive mindset, and allow me to explain that decision. Single statement has the power to alter everything. That when you decide to be upbeat, you do. You're doing more than merely influencing your emotions. You're altering how you see how you're influencing the world around you. When you engage with other people, You're impacting the chances you perceive and the ones you make for. Give it some thought. Have you ever experienced a day where everything seems to go wrong when one negative occurrence occurs one after the other, and before you, recognize that you're on a downhill trajectory of, we've all experienced criticism, but this is how such days usually begin. With a negative attitude upon awakening, fearing the day when you concentrate on everything, the things that may go wrong with you, putting yourself in a bad position, you're pro-directing your thoughts to seek out the negative, and you know precisely what that is. What you'll discover, but as you begin your day choose to be positive, while flipping the mental script you're using to locate the excellent, search for the chances to look at the bright side whenever you do that, in every cloud. Incredible things begin to occur. You begin to see the little benefits that you may experience in your life, had forgotten before you begin to tackle problems with a can-do attitude mindset rather than a defiant one. You begin to motivate others in your vicinity using your optimism and excitement. And this is the really amazing thing when you decide to, positivity begins to make a decision. It turns into a self-fulfilling, people are lured to good prophecies. Opportunities for people tend toward those who live their lives with hope and excitement. But I'm not expressing that now. Making the decision to remain optimistic will miraculously resolve whatever issue you have. Life will still having its peaks and valleys. You will still encounter obstacles and failures. But when you decide to be positive with yourself, the most effective instrument to use whatever life throws at you, manner, it's similar to the proverb, life goes on. 10% of what occurs to you and 90% of how you respond to it. By deciding to be confident that you're managing that 90% of the time, you're choosing to, that 10% will cause you to respond in a manner that moves you and serves you moving ahead, that gets you nearer to your objectives. So make that decision each morning. Tell yourself, today I've decided to be favorable, and then see that decision starts to influence your day, week and month, your year, and eventually your let's go on to the second life now. Line you need to talk to yourself each. This morning, I am thankful for all that I. Being thankful for my friends is among the strongest forces in the cosmos. It has the power to change your whole outlook on life as you begin you're starting the day with thankfulness, positioning oneself for success in ways that maybe not even recognize that it's simple to concentrate on. Comparing what we need is simple, ourselves to other people, and believe that we are. It's easy to get caught up when you fall short. In the rat race, always pursuing the next big item didn't meet our expectations. Possess. But as you begin your day by thanking you're changing. You're reminding yourself of your focus, all of life's gifts, all the things for which you are grateful. And no matter where you are, let me inform you, throughout life, regardless of the difficulties there is always something to be faced with. Thankful for. Perhaps it's your health, or perhaps it's the roof over your head, family, either your head or the food on your table. Maybe it's the chances you own, the abilities you've acquired, the whatever experiences you've had, as soon as you give it any thought and thank them for it. You're training and doing something strong. Your thoughts to concentrate on plenty instead of you're reminding oneself of scarcity instead. That even when faced with difficulties, you possess the resources at your disposal. Cult fostering an attitude of gratitude that will sustain you even the most resilient of times, and this is the really incredible. Regarding thankfulness, the more you do it, the more you'll be thankful that it seems like you're wearing a pair of glasses of thankfulness, and all of a sudden blessings begin to appear everywhere. You take a look at that morning coffee. Give thanks for the capacity to read. Be thankful for the air with these words. Be thankful that you are breathing at this moment, For it once you begin to see life with an attitude of thankfulness, you'll be surprised at your true wealth. I now know that some of you may be pondering, but Jim, what if I leave? Through a really difficult period, what if I'm encountering significant obstacles or failures? How can I express gratitude? Then, and it's a legitimate question, but let me tell you, being grateful isn't only for the enjoyment. In reality, it's in the difficult moments when thankfulness
May be the most strong when confronted with obstacles. Being thankful may benefit you. Preserve perspective. It can remind you because no matter how tough things are, your life can still be positive. Provide you with resilience and strength. Must continue to push ahead. And here's something else. Being grateful has a way of drawing in more. When you are thankful, nice things come into your life. You give yourself up for what you have. To getting more, it's as like you're communicating with the cosmos by stating, I'm grateful for what I've received, and take it every morning because I'm eager for more. A minute to show appreciation, say to, I am thankful for all that I have. And if you can enumerate a few certain things for which you are grateful, perhaps it's something new every day, or maybe possess a basic summary of advantages that you admit every day it's crucial to create. Being thankful is a routine and consistent aspect of your good morning. Habit, let's go to the third line. You need to talk to yourself each AM, I am capable of attaining big. What this sentence is about, my buddy's conviction, it's about identifying your own. It's about your own strength and potential. Realizing that you own the capacity to achieve incredible items you see, one of the biggest barrier to achievement is self-doubt. The voice in your brain that tells you're not good enough to do it. You're not intelligent enough gifted, and I can assure you that voice may be quite convincing if you allow it. But as the day begins by confirming your skills, you're stifling the doubtful voice, you're swapping it out with a confident voice. You're reminding me in a voice of self-confidence yourself that you possess the necessary skills to successfully get over obstacles to accomplish your objectives. I want you to consider carefully now. Take a time to consider this and consider everything. The greatest triumphs in human history, the moon landing, the pyramids, all of these stuff were formerly on the internet. Just thoughts in someone's head. They were dreams that show you what could be understand, what brought their aspirations to life. It wasn't only talent or skill or resources, it was thought to be people who examined what seemed to be an impossible difficulties and declared that I am able to doing this, which is the strength of conviction. That's the strength of acknowledging your personal capacities when you really believe you have the capacity to do big things. You give yourself access to opportunities you may not have previously thought about. You begin to see chances where others see the challenges you begin to face, dangers that others avoid from, and this is what you can do. Of accomplishing outstanding feats each and every, there is potential in every one of you that you haven't even started tapping yet, into your abilities, talents, and skills that are particularly yours possess viewpoints and experiences that nobody else on the planet has the capacity to talents, which are similar to muscles. If you do not believe in them, do not utilize them. They will never realize their full potential. Strength, which is why it's crucial to confirm your talents each and every day when you claim that I am able to. Reaching tremendous heights, you're not only self-motivation, you're not merely talking to yourself, you're programming your subconscious. You're forming your opinions on yourself and your capabilities achieve. And the convictions they hold method for achieving self-fulfillment predictions when you think you begin to act because you are capable of big things. Like a person who can do amazing items you begin to decide on, such as you are someone who is meant to succeed. Begin to conduct oneself with the assurance of a person who is aware of their own worth. But I'm not just saying that. Self-belief is sufficient to ensure success, of course. Not you still have work to do. You have need to hone your abilities in order to develop. But having faith in your own ability is the basis on which all else is constructed. Consider it this way: if you do not think that you are capable of, why would you even bother trying to achieve something? Try. Why would you exert yourself? The difficulties overcome the set returns. But when you have faith in your capacities, when you fully internalize the belief that you can achieve great actions, you authorize yourself to dream large. You allow yourself the bravery to take steps to endure, in spite of challenges. Therefore, take a look at yourself every morning, in front of the glass and declare, I can saying it when doing amazing things conviction. Speak with sincerity, because you really mean it, and then let that conviction guide you throughout the day. Direct your behavior and allow it to motivate you to accept difficulties that may have seemed to be overly large. Before allowing it to inspire you to continuing to go ahead, even when things get difficult, to recall the few boundaries that are the ones we put on that really exist. Ourselves. So why set boundaries? Why should you settle for anything less than yourself? Able to accept your potential, have faith in yourself and capacities, and observe as you begin to do things you may not have idea conceivable. Let's go to the fourth line. You need to talk to yourself each. I like difficulties in the morning as chances for my friends. This sentence is all about progress. Viewpoint, it is about how you see the barriers and challenges that eventually your method, because, let me tell you, there are difficulties are inevitable and a part of life. But the way you decide to see things, decide to answer them, that's completely up to, a lot of people look at obstacles as they perceive them, as the factors preventing them from reaching their desired location. Because when you have that perspective on difficulties, they become the very barriers that slow down. That's where you're going. Make you want to donate upward, but what if you could change that? Viewpoint. What if, rather than observing difficulties as obstacles, you may see them as stepping? What if you could see every stone, challenge, every failure, every barrier as a chance to gain knowledge and develop, get more powerful and more competent, which is the main idea of this line. Regarding, as soon as you tell yourself, I accept obstacles as chances for development, you're essentially altering your connection with challenge. You're no longer escaping obstacles you're rushing to overcome. You no longer fear them. Instead, your greetings. I'm aware of what some of you may. Jim, I'm thinking that sounds fantastic in principle, but practical difficulties are difficult, demanding, and often, how can I possibly embrace something that hurts? Yeah, and you're correct. Difficulties are all such things. But the truth is that not about acting as if there are difficulties aren't difficult. The key is realizing that it's via those challenges that we cultivate. The most people consider it at some point in their lives. Have you discovered the most important lessons? When you've grown, most crucial abilities would have you found strengths you were unaware of. I'm prepared to wager that it wasn't when things were simple. And Noah was at ease when you were confronted with difficulties, when you had to exert yourself oneself, when it was necessary to delve deeply and discover resources inside yourself that you didn't even know existed, which is why challenge has power. They push us to go outside of our comfort zones. They encourage us to reach our boundaries. And in doing so, they demonstrate to us when you embrace what we really can, obstacles as chances for development. You're not only spinning things in a favorable light. In a challenging circumstance, you're actively looking for methods to become better and learn from each training experience you have yourself to find the lesson in each and every reverse the chance and everything barrier. And I'll let you know when you begin to live your life in this wonderful manner. Things begin to occur abruptly. Failures aren't destroying their precious setbacks, and learning experiences aren't disheartening just to return stronger. Their challenges are not insurmountable, are issues to be solved, riddles to be solved. Conquer this mentality, and this capacity to accepting difficulties is essential. Disparities among those who succeed, outstanding achievement, and those who don't, since this is the reality of success, is not about avoiding difficulties. Rather, it's on how you respond to them when they arrive. The most successful individuals in any. It's not simple for those on the field. They are those who have the largest difficulties and make advantage of those challenges and support their development. They are the ones who examine a challenging circumstance to state, how can this teach me something? Make me even better. When you get up every morning, I declare that I welcome challenges as chances for development that you're creating, putting oneself in a position to join others who are getting ready to handle whatever the day might offer, bravery with tenacity and a desire for growth. And now for something much more potent. About this frame of mind when you really accept difficulties and let go of your fear. Of them, you cease to allow the dread of you or held back by your dread of failure. Return from following your aspirations because even if things don't work out as planned, you know that planned even in the event of obstacles or hurdles you'll overcome. Not the opposite, more powerful, intelligent, and competent than prior to this, does not imply that you will begin anticipating challenges or having fun difficulties, but it does indicate that you'll don't use them as excuses to quit up. Rather, they will appear as invites. Should step forward and demonstrate that yourself how powerful and competent you really are. As each dawn serves as a reminder myself, I welcome difficulties as chances for development. And then there all day long until you say those words when you encounter. It's a challenging undertaking. An act that seems overwhelming don't shy away from it. Instead, embrace it. Confront it head on and consider what you can. I get knowledge on how something may benefit me. Develop, and as you do this, you know what you always welcome challenges, and you will discover yourself if you learn from them. Gaining resilience and adaptability, additional certain that you'll find your strengths and skills you possess that you never realized that you had. And before you knew it, you'll be accomplishing goals you previously idea unfeasible. Let's go to the fifth and last person you should talk to. I take action every morning for you. Approach my objectives each today, my friends. This line is where rubber meets the road is intentions become, dreams come true in reality. Accomplishments because you can see all the optimistic outlook on the world at all times. Challenges of self-belief and acceptance. They are quite significant, yet they're nothing to really succeed on their own. In order to really transform your life, you must, when you tell yourself, I, do something. Taking daily action to achieve my objectives. You're committing yourself to committing to yourself that you will just dream of success and put forth the necessary effort. You're telling yourself as you approach it that, like every other day, today you're intending to take action, regardless of how little that gets you nearer to where you'd want to. I want you to give this some serious thought. The impact of this assertion, consider what would occur if you really live by these words, if every day, without exception, you made some progress toward your objectives. Can you fathom how far you'll come? More than a week and a month. You understand that success this year isn't about creating enormous advances all at once. It's regarding constant, tenacious activity. Over time is about the little things that, when combined, create an amazing distance. Consider it this way: if you wanted to get from York to Los Angeles by foot, you wouldn't anticipate completing it in one significant step would. Naturally, you take things one step at a time, and make sure that every single step may seem insignificant, but include them everything up, and before you realize it, you've crossed a continent, which is what it takes every day. The key to achieving your objectives is taking action. It all comes down to those little regular steps that eventually result in outstanding accomplishments. I now understand what some of you may be considering. But I'm busy, Jim. Having a family and a job. Obligations. How am I expected to find time to work on my objectives each day? A lone day. And I understand that everyone has a hectic life, have time and energy demands, but the problem is that if something is really vital to you, you'll figure out a means to set aside time for it in your objectives. Your objectives and dreams should be significant enough to warrant every day. This does not imply that you must pay attention. Devote hours every day to pursuing your objectives. It might sometimes be as easy as flipping over a few pages of a book. It aids in the development of a talent you need sometimes. It may be sending an email, or making a phone call, or generating ideas for 15 minutes. What matters is that you're taking action. Everything you're working on, you're relocating forward, and I'll let you know when you make a commitment to acting each and every day. Incredible things begin to occur. You gain momentum with every action every step you take makes the following one easier. Moving ahead boosts your self-confidence, inspiration, and your faith in what's maybe. Secondly, begin to see outcomes. Perhaps not right now, perhaps not drastically, but eventually you will begin to see yourself toward your objectives, and that any progress, no matter how little, it is really inspiring and encourages you to continue to push yourself ahead. But maybe most crucially, when you do something each day, you're creating one of the most important successful habits. You're teaching yourself to be consistent. Appear every day, regardless of your level of motivation, you're establishing the type of self-control and commitment that creates high achievers. As you can see, motivation is erratic, comes and goes. On some days, you will awaken feeling fantastic and prepared to overcome anything else you'll feel. You're teaching yourself to be consistent. Appear every day, regardless of your level of motivation, you're establishing the type of self-control and commitment that creates high achievers. As you can see, motivation is erratic, comes and goes. On some days, you will awaken feeling fantastic and prepared to overcome anything else you'll feel, so that when you wake up tomorrow, you already understand what has to be done. There's you wake up without pondering or putting things off. Creating a mission using a goal. As we conclude our exploration of, I want you to read these 5 strong lines, comprehend something. Importantly, they aren't only words. They're not just encouraging words that you repetition without thinking. They're promises you're declaring to yourself that they are of your identity. And identity turning into when you declare, today I've decided to make sure you're devoted to embracing life with hope and passion, irrespective of the situations in which you express gratitude for everything I own. You're pledging to concentrate on plenty instead of lack of ability to recognize the gifts in your life when you claim that I am able to accomplishing the fantastic things you're committed to having confidence in oneself, to realizing and accepting your own possibility when you state, I embrace obstacles as chances for development. You're resolving to deal with challenges. Go on with gaining knowledge and enhancing each pre-experience, and when you state that I behave in my objectives each day, that you pledge to transforming your aspirations into reality by constant and persistent endeavor. These 5 lifetimes, when absorbed and lived in a genuine way, they have the ability to change your life, change your perspective and redirect your energies, and adjust your behavior to match your ambitions. But this is what they only function when you utilize them. They have power if you trust them and follow through on. You can't utter these words to them just once. When anticipate a change in your life, you must to include them into your everyday routine is a key component of how you approach every day, which is why I'm putting you to say these 5 words to yourself each time. Make it your first thing in the morning. Before you check your phone when you wake up, prior to turning on the news, check your phone. You begin to worry about the next day. Spend a time focusing on yourself using these strong, say them aloud as an affirmation. Say things how you intend them with conviction. Them because you do intend for them to be not only thoughts and words on a page or truths about who you are, in your brain are, who you're growing into. And this is a don't only utter these words, use a great advice. Lines first thing in the morning, then forget about them. Keep them with you. Write them down as you go about your day and keep them in a visible location. Your mirror on your desk as the let them be in the background of your phone. Continuous reminders of the obligations you've managed to oneself in the face of difficulty. Remind yourself that I welcome difficulties as chances for development. When you're feeling down, remember yourself that I am ability to do remarkable feats. Remind yourself when you're tempted to put things off. Myself, I work for my objectives. Each and every use these sentences as touchstones throughout the day, as anchors that maintain your sense of stability in the attitude of accomplishment and triumph. Let they direct your ideas and choices. Your behavior throughout each indeed. And here's still another effective technique. At the conclusion of the day, pause to consider how you met these expectations. Promises, ask yourself, or are you now not able to, for did I choose positivity today? You ask. Was I able to express thankfulness? Did I have faith in my talents? Did I accept challenges did I seize any chances for personal development? Activity in relation to my objectives. Be truthful with yourself and rejoice the moments when you fulfill these obligations and when you don't fulfill them, because everyone has moments when they don't beat. Instead, utilize it as an opportunity to chance to pledge again to perform better. You'll realize tomorrow that success isn't about consistency, is more important than perfection. Endeavor to get back up when you consider recommitting to your objectives. And your attitude each and every day, that's why are these 5 sentences so potent? They provide you with a chance every day to refocus in order to recommit to the person you want to be and the life you want to. I dare you, nay, I implore you to create. To include these 5 sentences into your everyday routinely tell yourself these things each day. Let them influence your attitude in the morning, direct your activities and change your existence. That's utilize them, think they're real, and see how they start to change your life one day at a time moment, since this is the individual's truth. Your ideas decide who you become. You believe what you say, and the acts that you take when you often think sentiments of thankfulness and optimism and abilities when you talk regularly, statements of dedication and empowerment, when you constantly take steps to, you turn into your goals. Unstoppable, you develop into the kind of someone who dreams of more than merely success but succeeds. You turn into the kind of someone who doesn't only hope for a better life, but you have to make it happen. The kind of somebody who motivates others, who has an impact and leaves a long-term effects on the globe. And these 5 are the first lines, 5 straightforward assertions that when absorbed and put into practice, have the ability to alter everything. So when you wake up tomorrow, I want you to glance in the mirror when you wake up. State that I've decided to be positive, I am appreciative of everything. I can do amazing things. Things that I welcome as challenges. Chances for development, I work for my objectives every day. Say them with conviction and have faith in them. With all in your heart, then go out and live them as there won't be any. Don't go above what you can accomplish. Thank you.